Hello everybody and welcome back to our Let's Play of Skyrim. So, last time we were formally inducted into the Companions. Today we will be continuing the Companions questline. We start off with a bit of a miscellaneous quest, some animal extermination. And I reckon today we will continue to play through the Companions questline. I'm thinking that, we've got a couple of factions we can do. So let's play through them all the way, and then we can do some other stuff, just so there's a bit of continuity. So we'll stick with the Companions for now. I reckon afterwards, maybe once we finished, or maybe we will stop sort of part of the way through, we should go to the Greybeards. That seems like a good next step to take. Improve our Fusroda, which right now is just Fus, get a bit of training, and perhaps then head to the Mages College. Look, there's a lot of stuff to do, particularly for a character like ours. Part martial, part magic. We are fairly versatile. Now, we're not really suited to be an assassin or a thief. That sort of cuts out two of the guilds for us, but, it's Skyrim. Every character can basically do everything, though I don't plan to do them in this playthrough. Doesn't really fit with the character, doesn't fit with the roleplay, etc., etc. We're more of a magic-based fighter, up and at 'em. Oh, I hear some wolves, Apologies to the wolf population. I've already done a number on them around this area, but perhaps they shouldn't be so aggressive. Alright, keep up, Lydia. She's in a daze, apparently. I'm not sure what she's doing. Thank you to everybody, by the way, who has kept watching. If you're here, I'd appreciate it if you would leave a comment. Let me know if you're enjoying the series. Also, let me know what other Let's Plays you want to see. Oh, man. We're getting ambushed. Let me know what other series y'all would like to see, Some people have mentioned Morrowind in the comments. I played a bit of Morrowind in the past. I think that would be a good playthrough. Now, my computer is very old. Pretty slow, but it can run and record Morrowind. Maybe not much more, though, to be honest. But of course, I can record any of the PS4 games that I shared in my PS4 collection video. So if you're interested in seeing any of those, I think Morrowind is a pretty good suggestion. Not making any promises yet, plus we still have Skyrim to go through, but perhaps once we're done with Skyrim, we can move on to that, or other things. I was thinking, maybe taking in a bit of a different direction, that after we're done with Skyrim, we could do something maybe like Disco Elysium. That's a game that I've played a bit of, but I really didn't get too far into the game, even though I really enjoyed it. I also think it would be really good for a first-time playthrough. There's a lot of stuff to engage with. Yeah. But let me know. Let me know if you're interested in any of the other games I shared, or just any games in general that you think would be a good idea. As I think we've covered on this channel, well, first off, I'm not as much of a gamer as I used to be back in my high school years, but I still very much enjoy games. I have a broad interest, but as you can probably tell, and as I've talked about, I like RPGs. And I've been thinking that, my experience with the old classic RPGs is pretty lacking, I mean, I'm a fairly young individual. I grew up with games like Skyrim and, say, Oblivion, but there's a whole era of RPGs around that time and before that time that I really haven't experienced, and I think that would be kind of cool to go through. Because, like I said, I'm very much into the genre, and being able to play some of the classics might be a fun idea. I don't know. Let me know what you think. I'm asking these questions right now because we've got a fairly basic quest we're doing. Let me take a drink of water here. Oh my. I see the troll. This could get a little dangerous. Once you level up, trolls aren't too big an issue, but at a low level, and we're at a low level, they can be a tad challenging, so I'm a little a little bit worried. Gonna have to play defense on this one. But if my Atronaut can keep blasting it with fire, that's good. That'll prevent regeneration. Oh my god. There were two. I didn't even notice. One is almost down, though. There we go. Let me heal up in case this next shot takes me out. I'm telling you, look at these things. They're freaking tough. Tough at the level we're at. Gonna be honest, usually these animal extermination quests are a little bit easier. That's why I go for them. It's like, go to Riverwood and, you know, kill some wolves that somehow got into somebody's house. Kill a saber-toothed tiger, or whatever they're called in this game. But we did it. We got the trolls. I won't be complaining to Ayala. Hey, Ayala, not that I would know, but I feel like you gave me a particularly difficult animal extermination quest. You can see the goons who were once here. They have not had a good time. Of course they haven't. I guess I'll level it up during that. Froki's bow. Interesting. A named item. It's not particularly interesting. I mean, 10 points of stamina damage, not that great. But a named item is always a unique thing to see in Skyrim. I'm sure I've seen that before. That name sounds familiar. But, you know, even me who's played this game time and time again, how many times do I enter this random cave? Like I said, animal extermination quests don't usually even take me here. So that might be a, I don't know, once in every 20 playthroughs kind of find. I don't quite have the math off the top of my head. But yeah, I mean, named items are relatively rare. Though, as you level up, you do find enemies with enchanted items more often. But with how Skyrim is structured, a lot of stuff is, I don't know what the correct term would be. I don't think procedurally generated is the way to put it, but you get a lot of items that are not necessarily handcrafted, right? Not named.
I've heard you may actually be stronger than you look.
Hey, Ella.
Perhaps we can hunt together someday.
Well, okay, you just told me I don't look very strong, so that's rude, but I've cleared the beast lair.
Good work. The mindless cretins didn't stand a chance.
Well, I wouldn't quite say that. They, you know, they were a little challenging. I'm looking for maybe more work.
Still eager to please. This is good. Skjor might be right about you.
Oh?
He has something special planned for you. Better talk to him.
Excellent. And this is how the companions work, and this is how guilds often work in the Elder Scrolls. You do a sort of mainline faction mission, then you might get a mission, a radiantly generated mission like the animal extermination, and now we get access to another, you know, actually important mission.
Yes, I have something a little different planned this time. But it's not for everyone to hear. Meet me in the Underforge tonight. We will speak more.
Where is this Underforge? Seems appropriate to ask. You know, I have a quest marker, but there's no way I would know where it is.
Forget that you've never seen it. Beneath the Skyforge, where Yorland works. The door is hidden, but I will show you the way.
Great, thank you, Skjor.
All right then.
And, you know, this is less of a mission and more of, as some companions would call it, a bit of a reward. There's a bit of debate amongst them. I'm certainly going to be titling this episode after this event that we're going to see in a little bit. Alright, it's midnight. Let's head to the Underforge. You're going to have to go anyway.
Still here.
So
I'll head
let's
back
just
home
part
if you
ways
need me.
now. It's useful to know what's going to happen, so you can just leave your follower behind beforehand, and you don't get them involved in anything dangerous.
Are you prepared?
Prepared? What is this place?
Here's all you need to know. Jorvaskr is the oldest building in Whiterun. The Skyforge was here long before it was. And the Underforge taps an ancient magic that is older than men or elves. We bring you here to make you stronger.
Now that's interesting.
Now let's move.
I don't really know too much about the lore. Oh wow, no other options. The lore of the Underforge, to be honest, but that's certainly sort of interesting mystique.
I'm glad you came. It's been a long time since we had a heart like yours among
Oh my.
That pitiful ceremony behind the hall does not befit warriors like us. You are due more honor than some calls and feasting. I
Alright.
hope you recognize Ayla, even in this form.
How would I recognize her?
She's agreed to be your forebear. We do this in secret because Kodlak is too busy trying to throw away this great gift we've been granted. He thinks we've been cursed, but we've been blessed. How can something that gives this kind of prowess be a curse?
That is such a stupid
We take matters
attitude,
into our
by the
own
way.
hands. To reach the heights of the Companions, you must join with us in the shared blood of the wolf. Are you prepared to join your spirit?
What
with
a
these
bad
brave
attitude,
friends?
by the way. Like, you know, how can this be a curse? It makes us so powerful. What? Do you not have any understanding? Also, you know, it's not that Kodlak is completely opposed to this practice. He kind of is, but it's more that he doesn't want it for himself. So I'm going to ask the question, what if I don't want to be a werewolf?
That is your choice. We will not force you. But to join the circle, your blood must be as ours. Meet us here when you're ready.
And, you know, I'll give you my commentary on this after we go through with it. So you know what? I'm ready. Let's become a werewolf.
Very well.
We'll play this through, and then I'll tell you what exactly I think about this choice. Oh my. Look at that beautiful animation. Alright. I'm gonna drink it. Everything goes dark. And now, we're a werewolf. Takes everybody a little bit to load in. Alright, let's see if we can get even one kill in werewolf form. It's honestly more difficult than you'd think, especially, I think what it is at higher difficulties. You do so little damage as a werewolf that it gets quite difficult to actually kill anybody while you're in werewolf form. And look at all the damage I take. Now, of course, there is the werewolf skill tree that was introduced, I believe, with the Dawnguard DLC. Don't roll down the steps. I want to eat you. Oh, and we're about to revert back. Don't die. Ideally, I would like not to die during this process. So, you know, as they introduce the new vampire form, they have to buff werewolves a little bit as well. Alright, there we go. We've passed out, seemingly in the middle of Whiterun. That would probably be pretty terrible for the player character. I mean, how on earth would you get out of that situation, right? Except, no, here we are. Ayla, hello.
Are you awake? I was starting to think you might never come back. Yours
back.
was not an easy transformation, but you're still alive, so congratulations. We even have a celebration planned for you. There's a pack of werewolf hunters camped nearby.
Quite the celebration.
Gallows Rock. The Silver Hand. I think you've met them before.
Yes, we have.
We're going to slaughter them. All of them. Lead on. Skior's already scouting ahead.
Alrighty. Feels appropriate to ask some questions. What just happened?
You were born into the pack, brother. I almost envy you. That first time is always the most intense. You gave us even more trouble than Farkas did at his first turning.
Typical Farkas. What does it mean to be a werewolf?
Nothing until you choose to use it.
Oh, that's nice.
Then, well, you got a taste. Stronger.
It feels like you could have told me this
It doesn't
before
last long, though.
I
The blood of your
transformed.
foes can sustain you, if you're willing to feed. The more we feed, the greater our prowess will grow. We could perhaps discover even more gifts of Hercine.
Perhaps. Where are we going?
The Silver Hand have taken over the old fort at Gallows Rock. They always make such easy prey.
Alright, let's get going.
That's certainly unusual.
Alright, so here's my take. I don't think it's bad that there's a werewolf transformation involved in the companions, nor do I think it's bad that there are a group of hardliners, Skjor or Aela, who sort of insist on this happening, right? What I don't like is that when you get to this point in the companions, you either become a werewolf and you continue the quest line, or you don't become a werewolf, and you know what happens then? You're done. You can't do any more companions. Now, you might be saying, oh, but, you know, this is one of the prerequisites of moving forward in the companions. You know, that shouldn't be a bad thing. And I get that. My only issue with that is that there's literally another option available, which is, as we've heard, Kodlak is not into this whole practice. So to me, I feel like it would have been better if they'd given you another option, aside from just, you know, if you don't want to become a werewolf, just leave and never come back. I would have preferred if there had been an option to continue with the companions and perhaps side with Kodlak, work with him. Because, you know, that is kind of what you do later, not to spoil too much. But it feels like something they could have rather easily sort of introduced earlier. As in, they could have given you a real choice of, if you want to continue the companion's questline, you can actually choose whether or not to become a werewolf. As it is right now, there is no choice. If you want to continue, right? If you want to continue the questline, you have to become a werewolf. If you don't want to become a werewolf, well, too bad, you're done. It's not the worst thing ever, but it does feel like they could have added a little more complexity to the decision.
You can taste the fear.
Yes. But anyway, I've never had an issue personally with becoming a werewolf, right? You know, it's more of a roleplay decision than anything, and as I've talked about before, I don't think Skyrim is really heavy on the role-playing aspect, even though it is a role-playing game, right? So I think most people won't care. And most people,
There's a dead one, isn't
as
there?
I felt first time playing this,
Nobody we know can
Yes.
smell. Some can't separate the animal from themselves. Go feral.
can you smell that in human form?
We should keep moving.
Jeez. But first time I played through this, I thought this was incredibly cool. And I still think it's pretty cool, becoming a werewolf. That's pretty awesome, right? And I think most people feel the same. But, upon playing the game many times and further reflection, I think it would have been a little bit better if they'd added in more choices. I think that can be said, actually, for a lot of Skyrim. You know, it is a role-playing game. There is a big world, and there are choices to make, but it often feels like it lacks serious choices in many situations, and a lot of your choices are maybe not that impactful. Or, to put it more accurately, you get presented with situations like that where it's very binary. It's like, do this or do this. There's not a whole lot of complexity, there's not a whole lot in between, and that can be a little disappointing. So yeah. And look, like I've said, I'm not trying to critique Skyrim too much as I play through, or I'm not trying to constantly rag on the game, but as I play it, I'm going to give you my thoughts on it, right? And I'm speaking as someone who really does love this game. I've played it so many times. This is absolutely one of my favorite games, and, you know, growing up as an adolescent, a teenager playing this game, I really, truly loved it. It was my favorite game. So this is coming from a place of love. You know, I'm talking about this game from the position of someone who really enjoys it and just would like some things to be a little bit better. Now, I say that, but not that my criticism actually matters, or I should say, our criticism matters, right? Because not that I would have too much influence individually anyway, but a lot of the things I say I think have been broader criticisms of Bethesda, and unfortunately, I think Bethesda has sort of proven since Skyrim came out in 2011 that, you know, they haven't really improved a lot of the things people criticized them for, at least in my opinion. There's been, I think, a whole lot of missteps and mediocrity from Bethesda since the release of Skyrim. Not to mention about 1 million re-releases of Skyrim, because it makes them the most money. You could think perhaps that hasn't been good for the sort of creative spirit of the company, to become a company that just re-releases the same game over and over and over again. There definitely might be some truth to that. I'm curious to see Bethesda's next game. I think it's Starfield, if I'm correct. I think, you know, it'll be educational, you could say, to sort of the position that Bethesda is in, right? I don't really have high hopes, given what we've seen from the last couple of games, but they could surprise me. I'm absolutely open to that. I would love for the game to be fantastic, because after Starfield, I believe we're getting the Elder Scrolls 6, which people have been begging for since the release of Skyrim, since 2011. And I would love more than anything for that to be fantastic. I mean, that would be great. But I'm not holding my breath. First off, I think it could still be a while before that game is released. And second off, like I said, given Bethesda's track record over the last couple of years, I'd be a little bit worried. Alright, let's save and head in here. Sometimes I transform into a werewolf before this, but as I've shown you, on higher difficulties, the werewolf form actually is not that powerful. And so I'm not actually sure it gives me much of a benefit to transform. Oh my god, I might die here. What do we want to do? Oh wow, pretty high magicka. Let's go health. Should we improve our conjuration? I don't really care about any of those. Maybe we'll eventually go down this one. I don't really care about undead. We can't level anything good up right now. Anyway, restoration. That's a good tree. Heavy armor. Okay, we got a lot of options. Like I said, we're a broad. But you gotta go with the one-handed. We're a broad character. We've got a lot of things we can put points into. But, and here's a tip when playing Skyrim, you gotta keep up with the damage. Whatever you're using, whether it be destruction, or you're using smithing, or alchemy to augment your damage, however you're doing it, you absolutely need to keep up with the damage requirements at your level, or you are going to fall behind. Okay, I need this woman to stop chasing me. You're going to actually kill me. We're doing a bit of hide and seek right now. Yeah, can you just take on my Atronach, please? So you gotta keep up with damage. Though, I think we definitely need to improve our restoration at some point. Wow, look at that. Go Atronach. Iron Mace of Sapping, I'll take that.
Somehow they managed to kill Skior. He was one of the strongest we had.
I mean, I kind of get it. They were tough.
He should not have come without a shield, brother. Get out of here. I'm going to make sure we got the last of them.
Gotta use the buddy system. Gotta use the buddy system. That's how we all stay safe. Keep that in mind, everybody. Whether you are fighting werewolf hunters or, you know, going out, use the buddy system. Anyway, what is our first target?
One group has hidden out in East March. Get it back, for the honor of us all.
Sounds good. I will be looting his corpse. I know it's disrespectful, but... And I know we're also going to get our own Skyforge steel stuff later. Apologies, but what he has is better than what I have, and I want it. Nice. We're very close to being over-encumbered. I need to disenchant quite a lot of stuff. And sell a lot of this junk as well, frankly. Yes. No, I mean, come on, that is a cool armor set. Though it doesn't really go with the helmet, to be honest. But that's okay. Let's get on out of here. I say we head back to Whiterun. And apparently there's... Oh my goodness. Where did you come from? Don't get in my way. I've murdered all of your comrades. It would seem the best thing to do for you to lay down your arms, but of course that's not what just happened. I say we head to Whiterun, sell a bunch of our junk, and then get started on this next companion's quest. And, you know what? I don't think y'all need to follow me through that entire thing, so we'll probably be cutting in and out. I'll show you the important stuff.
I've been looking for you. Got something I'm supposed to deliver. Your hands only.
No. Letter delivery.
Ah, a letter from the Jarl. Moving up.
What do we have
world,
here?
Eh? Looks like that's it. Got to go.
Yes. Our classic Jarl's letter. There's some things that happen every playthrough. As y'all can see, I've leveled up to level 10, and I believe that's why this is happening. From Jarl Sidgeir of Falkreath. Apparently I'm getting very famous. Entitled to a personal house, Carl. Purchase land in Falkreath. This is how they introduce you to buying a plot of your own land and building your own home. Maybe not the smoothest of transitions, but, you know, works fine regardless. Anyway, we won't be doing that for a while, I don't think. And I've got some stuff to sell in the meantime. Alright. Let's buff some of our stuff. We can only do fine, which is kind of annoying. Up to 52. Is that the same as the wolf armor? Yeah, it is. Good armor, boots, shield, helmet. Alright, we need one more steel for our bracers.
I don't claim to be the best black, the finest weapons and armor.
And we can also sell some of the miscellaneous armor we now have. Alright, give me one more steel, please, and thank you. Oh, by the way, when we leveled up, I did take that point in restoration, so now we can cast novice-level spells for less magicka. I think it was a good thing to go for. What do we have up next? Yes, we're retrieving a fragment of Wuthrad, a very important artifact and weapon to the companions. It looks like we have a while to go as well. Let's see if we encounter anything interesting along the way. Oh, what do we have here? Some sort of shrine. How curious. Shrine to Talos, I guess. Skill book. Some nice stuff. Is steel plate... It just looks better, right? Oh. No, actually. It is better. I need to get me some steel plate armor. What am I doing? Let's pray to Talos. I mean, I'm not a Nord, but... behooves one to be respectful, I suppose. Oh, also we picked up Lydia while we were in Whiterun. Probably should have crafted myself some steel plate armor while I was there. Though I'm not sure... Can we craft that at this point? I really don't remember. Doesn't really matter at this point. We'll do that a little bit later. Got a giant camp up ahead. I'm just gonna unlock the fast travel and then keep on going because we really don't stand a chance against those big boys. We will get, you know, meme launched into the air. A rather classic Skyrim meme right there. And what do we have here? I just heard a dragon. Oh. Oh. Looks like we have a dragon fight on our hands, everybody. Well, I suppose something did happen that was interesting. Alright, get up here, you big brute. I wish I had the shout that would bring dragons down. But my Atronach is doing work, or that might be Lydia, actually. Where on earth did the Atronach go? Land, buddy. Alright, I'm gonna have to... Oh, and I don't have a bow. I sold my bow, I guess. Well, we are doing a bit of work on it, even though it has not landed yet. If it would please hurry up and do that. Oh, it's fighting other enemies. It is so far away. Don't you love it when dragons do this? Can we even get across? Yes, we can get across over there. Alright, I'm making my way over to the dragon. Trying not to completely get lost in this ravine. Oh, we're gonna lose combat unless we can get back up there. Look, dragons are a big focus of Skyrim, but does not necessarily have the best dragon fighting mechanics of any RPG out there. It's mainly just, you know, try and get it to land, and then when it does, swing at its feet. While it's in the air, try and use a bow or some ranged spells to attack it. I really need it to land, though, if we're gonna fight it. Oh, 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 oh. Okay, still no landing. Perhaps close enough to use a bit of destruction magic on. Well, that's really the best I can do. You know, we are not a destruction mage. Finally! Oh my goodness, finally. It landed. Jesus. See, look, that's all it takes. Look at all the damage we're doing right now. That is all it takes. Oh wow, we got an afflicted refugee. That's an interesting quest line. Not gonna let myself be killed right now. And there we go. Jeez. Now, you guys didn't see all of that fight, but, you know, I think what didn't help was that we're in the mountains and the terrain is very uneven. So the dragon really didn't want to land anywhere. But holy moly. That was pretty annoying, I'm not gonna lie. I should also talk to this afflicted refugee.
Finished ogling the grotesque. I suppose I should be grateful you didn't simply attack me.
As I literally absorb a dragon's soul. No reaction. Your skin, are you ill?
I'm one of the afflicted. I'd have been dead from this plague a year ago if not for Periite's protection.
Where are you going?
Turning to High Rock. Our shepherd lost his way, and I fear Periite's wrath may
High Rock.
consume those who remain.
That's where I'm from, I think.
Kesh could tell you
I'm
more.
Breton.
I just want out of Skyrim as quickly as possible. In all my years, I've never seen such a thing.
Now that's one of the cool things about Skyrim, a sort of random encounter like that. That's pretty interesting. And, I mean, of course I've seen all this before, but getting that interaction for the first time, I will tell you, I was profoundly curious. I was like, what the hell is going on? An afflicted refugee? How interesting, you know? So stuff like that's really cool. And as I've said before, this is the thing that Skyrim really does best, is the world building. The lore, the world, all that kind of stuff. These random encounters, or planned encounters in some cases. That's what I enjoy about Skyrim. And it does still strike me to this day. Ah, you finally came back, Lydia. Alright, let's get this fragment of Wuthrad back. The perfect weapon for Nord racists, basically. That's what Wuthrad is. It's a racist weapon. You guys might be saying, well, you know, you're going a little overboard, aren't you? No, not really. You know, if you want to fight elves, that is the weapon for you, I'll tell you that much. I will be taking your potions, thank you very much. We are probably pretty encumbered at this point, because we picked up a bunch of dragon scales, dragon bones, but, you know, we can just sell those, not a big deal. I also can just dump a bunch of this crap on Lydia. I don't really feel like it for the moment. I only do that when it really gets desperate. Like, for example, a lot of the miscellaneous stuff you hold, your potions, that kind of stuff, the food you might be holding. You know, each individual potion doesn't take up that much weight, but altogether, we've probably got quite a few pounds of potions, but, you know, I want to use those potions sometimes. And it's kind of annoying to put them all on your companion, so for the moment, I'll just leave them be. But if it ever gets desperate, that's the first thing to go. You search through miscellaneous, okay, got an iron ingot, got some random crap, and then next you go to potions, you're like, fortify strength, not gonna need that. You know, extra stamina, yeah, not gonna need that. But right now, we're fighting Silverhand. In this absolutely massive cavern. They're trying to trap me, eh? Not gonna happen. Bunch of the low-level members here. Ooh, apologies. That's tough. You can see the trap that was supposed to trigger. If Lydia ever makes it through here, she might trigger the trap. But yeah, as I was talking about earlier, oh, is this where we have to go? Interesting. There are a couple of games that I think would make for good playthroughs. And I do think some more sort of story-based games, like a Disco Elysium, though Disco Elysium is pretty unique. I mean, it's a sort of point-and-click adventure game. A real RPG, sort of harkens back to the old days, I would say. But just as sort of engaging as a lot of more story-based games, something that comes at you constantly. A little less downtime than something like Skyrim. Though I think, you know, it's sort of a double-edged sword. Something like this is good. It's a good game to play and chat with the viewers over. You know, if I was streaming, I would want to play probably games that gave me an opportunity to speak and chat with the audience versus something like a Disco Elysium where you're probably going to be almost constantly occupied. Different experience, but I think that'd be a fun thing to do for the channel. And of course, I mentioned Morrowind earlier. It's sort of a natural follow-up to Skyrim, right? Perhaps Oblivion would be the other natural follow-up. We could certainly do that in the future, but I think Morrowind would be a good one to head to. I played a bit of Morrowind in my time. Not too much. I'm not sure what year Morrowind was released, but I believe we're talking about probably like early mid-2000s, when I was a very small child. And so I never played it as a kid. I played it later after I played Skyrim and Oblivion, right? When Skyrim came out, I was 10 years old. And I played Skyrim maybe like a year or two after it was released, which was the perfect time. And then I came to the rest of the Elder Scrolls series, so I'm a little too young to have experienced Morrowind sort of in its prime as it was released. I played a bit afterwards, but never got super into it, though I certainly like the game, and I see why it has such a devoted fan base. It's certainly a different experience than the later Elder Scrolls games. a lot more of an RPG type RPG than the series would become. And for a lot of people, that's what they enjoyed about it. And like I said, for me, I am a fan of those sort of RPG elements. Basically what I'm saying is, if I was a little older when Morrowind had been released, I'm sure I would have been an absolute super fan. It was just a little too early, or maybe I was a little too late. Depends on however you want to look at it. And here we have a fragment of Wuthrad. Oh wow, Silverhand leader, eh? And I just hopped over the barrier, didn't unlock the gate. Fantastic. Now nobody can follow me down. Isn't that great? If only companions could actually do something. Oh, I have the key. Thank God. I was worried I was going to be left down here alone. Oh my goodness. That hurt me too. That hurt me too. Hey, Lydia, where on God's green earth did you go? There you are. Please rescue me from dying. Next, what we need is the next restoration spell. You know, we got our novice restoration perk, so it's relatively easy to heal. It doesn't take a lot of magicka, but it's still really slow. Plus, we have a fair amount of magicka. Enough for apprentice level spells. I do believe we're using our apprentice level conjuration. Don't huh me, Lydia. Come on now. Ah, more silver hand. Take this, why don't you? Whoa, I'm gonna fall off the waterfall. That would probably be a bad idea. There you go, there you go. Yeah, you're done for, Buckaroo. I combined Buckaroo and Buddy, and it did not work out. Alright. Not to get too Matthew McConaughey on you. I'm actually gonna wear that amulet. It's not, well, why not? It's not particularly good. But I don't have any other amulets to wear, so I might as well. Alright, I believe that is this dungeon completed. Now we're gonna head back to the companions with our fragment of Wuthrad. How valuable. And see what Ayala has to say. Maybe we'll see what else is going on around the companions, eh? Let's head back to Whiterun. Alright, back to Jorrvaskr. Let's go and find us Ayala. We're doing this sort of, I don't know if I'd say secret, but maybe a little bit secret quest line to find the fragments of Wuthrad. I mean, as we find out, she hasn't necessarily consulted with some of the other members, particularly the guy at the top, Kodlak. I mean, he claims he's not the leader, but
have you been bringing the battle to the
he's the
Silver
leader.
Hand, friend? I wish I could be there with you. Soon enough.
I got the fragment.
Another piece of glory. Good work, Shield Brother.
Thank you. What's our next target?
Good that you're so eager. I've caught wind that one of the Brighter Silver Hand has been sniffing around Hjalmarch. If you can sneak into their camp and steal her plans,
all right,
you'll have the advantage.
We continue our vengeance quest. Can you move out of the way, Lydia? Please and thank you.
Be careful.
I very much appreciate that. Alright, I think we're going to end it here. We got through a pretty major beat in the Companions questline. In fact, two of them were back-to-back. Our transformation into a werewolf, and then the murder of Skior. Now, not that we'd really built up too much of an attachment to the guy, or at least I hadn't. I won't speak for the rest of you. But still, a major story beat nonetheless. Next time, either we'll continue with the Companions questline, or I think we might actually hop over to the main story. Let me guys know. Let me know what you guys think. Do you want a little bit of diversity? You know, we can do something a little different, go do the main story, or we stick with the Companions, see it through to the end. I'm honestly fine with either. I'll let you decide, or I'll make the decision on my own. I guess we'll see next time. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We're now at level 10, in fact, almost level 11. This is progressing well, fairly quickly. Of course, that's how leveling works. The lower level you are, the faster it goes, right? We are a sort of intermediate to high level companion at this point. We are the Dragonborn. Our character is progressing well, I would say. We're getting a bit of cash. We've killed several dragons at this point, so that's not bad at all. Anyway, I hope you guys are enjoying the series so far. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a like, subscribe, you know, all that good stuff. We have been gaining subscribers on the channel, which is something sort of unique. This is a channel I've had for years. Now it's been inactive for several years. It's pretty interesting to see the channel finally growing again. It's kind of a novelty, to be honest with you. But yeah, I appreciate the support you guys have shown. I hope you keep watching. I hope you guys are having a good day today, and I will see you all again next time. Goodbye.